Hi, this is HardballRetro. Welcome to the Retro Dome. Today we'll be creating part 1 of a tutorial on how to execute a solo draft in Action PC Baseball. This game was released first edition, I believe, back in 2001. It's by Dave Cook Sports, dksports.com. So let's go ahead and dive right in. This will be a two-part video. Part 1 will be the draft. Part 2, I'll simulate a season. Well, first we'll review the rosters, post-draft rosters. We'll sim a season, and we'll look at the results. All right, let's get started. So first thing you do, click on Utilities, and we're going to create a new draft league. Now again, I'm not quite sure how far back this draft module was available in Action PC Baseball. I mean, it's definitely in the current versions. I happen to have 2023, so please you can leave a reply in the comments if you know when this was when the draft, creating a draft league was first available in the game. But anyway, we're going to do the 1969 season. Okay, new folder name, I'm going to call it 1969 draft. Okay. Import teams from an existing league. Yes, I already have Baseball 1969 here. And players, we're importing players from that same league. Alright, make sure these are all set properly. Create league. And give this a moment, and it should pop up with a reply that the league was created, or the folder was created, I believe, something like that. There we go, new folder created, bingo. Updating league file, that's fine. All right, now I'm going to go over here to draft, and we're going to click on modify general managers. Okay, now I'm going to click on tools, and I'm going to set all computer general managers. All right, with one exception. I'm going to be California, so I'm going to click on California and change from computer to human. I am not tweaking any of these preferences. You can go ahead and adjust these if you wish. Basically establishes for the computer GMs your preferences on the various options here. Okay, now we're going to click on modify draft order because I want to draft near the back of the pack just to make things kind of interesting, and also because it's a tutorial, I'm not exactly concerned where I finish here. I'm going to set this to 40 rounds. I don't know that we'll actually go 40 rounds. I'm going to keep it on standard so that I will pick in the same slot in each round. And then we're going to do random draft order. Create a random draft order, yes. All right, now, unfortunately, this positioned me up in pick 4. So I'm just going to keep doing this until I get somewhere down in the 20s here. Oh, I got pick number 2. Wow. Okay, we've got pick number 1 now. Just we could be here a while. Let's see. Nope, pick 10. There we go, pick 23, perfect. All right, hit OK. Okay, now I'm not going to do this, but I'll just show you that it's here. You could set specific rules to kind of filter out, maybe you don't want players with a low number of plate appearances or innings pitched. I'm just going to leave it. We'll just pick every player from 1969. Okay, let's go back here. I think we're good. I'm going to hit draft players. Okay, it's going to tell me whatever the first team was. All right, the Cubs are on the clock. All right, so I'm just going to hit continue draft here. It should pick all of the computer picks up until it's my turn. And this will just fly by real quick. Okay. All right, it's California's turn. So I want to look at a couple things here. Once this comes back to me. Now, I will generally sort my batters on OPS, so let's do that. All right, now we've got a bunch of guys with limited plate appearances here. So I could say I want to filter out everybody that's under 100 at-bats. All right. All right, so now I see Harmon Killebrew bubbles to the top here, and that's probably going to be my pick, but let's see. I'm looking at those 145 walks there, 49 dingers, pretty difficult to pass up old Harmon there. But what if I set that back to none, and if I go to display pitching, all right, and then maybe I'll set innings pitched to something here. Let's say 75 innings. All right, and then I'll sort on whip. So we got Fritz Peterson here with a sub-1 whip. We've got Wilhelm and Drabowski at a 1. Phil Niekro, 23 wins. Kuzman, Messersmith, Jim Palmer, Fergie Jenkins, but I'm going to pick Killebrew. And I'm not going to sit here and look and kind of flip back and forth and see who picked who. We'll not necessarily speed run through this, but we'll kind of find out at the end who wound up on each team. I'm not overly concerned about that. OPS, Harmon, all right. Okay, so I'm going to go Harmon. I'm going to draft the player. Well, let's just view his stats real quick. All right, I can click on View Player. I did not import player photos yet, and probably won't do so since we're just going to simulate the season. We're not playing any games. Not doing any human versus computer games or whatever. So, got versus lefty, versus righty, so forth. All right, so Killebrew, draft player. All right, bam, it just went through the next round worth of guys. All right, and let's see who's out here now. And for some reason it made my second pick for me. I don't understand what happened there. I'll take it. Gave me Frank Robinson. I just don't know why it did that. I had the opposite thing earlier, so I don't know if this was an issue with Action PC Baseball 2023 and whether it was resolved in an update or a later version of the game where I would select a player, hit continue draft, and nothing would happen. So let's see if we can get through this whole thing without that occurring again. I don't know why it picked someone for me in round 2, but I will take Frank Robinson. I'm fine with that. That leaves me with who to pick in round 3 here. And let's see. Okay, let's see. Well, we've got a third baseman and a right fielder. I did want to see, and Rod Carew is still here, and I want Rod Carew, but I do want to see what pitchers are out here first before I do that. Because I don't want to wait too long on Carew either. So let's do an innings limit of 75 again. Let's click on whip. Because I kind of feel like I should try to pick my ace here pretty soon. Alright, so Palmer is still there. Catfish Hunter is here. Palmer only had 23 starts. Man. Catfish had 35. He's pretty decent. Alright. I'm going to go with Catfish, and I'm hoping the Carew is still there when it's my turn. Draft Catfish. There we go. Round 4, looping through. Okay, let's go to batting again. Let's get rid of our innings limit because that's going to filter out people that will be helpful to me here. Alright, and is Carew still there? He is. And yes, I know he only played 123 games. He hit 332. And he's got a 386 on base. Are there higher OPS guys here? I'm sure there are. Let's see. Let's just see for giggles who I'm passing over here. Rico Cardi I'm passing over. Should I do that? Should I risk Carew being out there for the 5th round? I don't know. I'm going to say I'm going to take Carew here and hope for the best for next round. Alright. Alright, what do we got now for OPS? And Rico Cardi's still here. Bingo. And Dick Allen's still here. So if I click on my snapshot again, Hunter, Carew, Killebrew, Robinson. So Rico Cardi only had 304 at-bats. Yes, he hit 342. Dick Allen didn't play a full season either, but he had 32 bombs. That is a tough call. Going with Dick Allen, and then we're going to come back and see if it's either Cardi or a pitcher. Dick Allen is on the Angels now. Alright. Now this team snapshot doesn't automatically update. You have to click into a different team and then click into it again, I think. Let me just see if I click on, there we go. Just click on California again. Alright, so I've got 4 batters, 1 pitcher. I'll take a look here. Cardi is still here. Man, that's going to be tough to pass up again. Who do we have pitching-wise? I feel like I need a pitcher here. I see Ernie Banks there too. Let's clear the at-bat minimum. And let's put an innings minimum on here. Just, because. Click on whip again. Jim Palmer. Yes, it's only 23 starts. Alrighty. I feel like we got to go Jim Palmer here. Draft. Alright. batters. I mean, Wilhelm being out there is, imagine that, each 45 season. That's pretty incredible. Drabowski, better numbers though overall, I would say, except for ERA. Ron Taylor, pretty good. Just looking at some bullpen help here. But, all right, let's get rid of the innings minimum. Let's look at batting again. Okay, we've got batting. We've got 100 at-bat minimum. I hope I didn't click on that correctly, did I? I did not. Let's try that again. OPS. Rico Cardi still here. Rich Reese, who else is still here? Let's see. Because I need a catcher, a shortstop, a center fielder, and a left fielder. So among catchers, we've got Frank Fernandez and Duke Sims. Some decent power numbers. McAuliffe, only 271 ABs. So I may end up doing some platooning here with some guys. 401 on base, Rico Cardi. I just can't pass that up here in this round. Yeah, I know he's not going to play full time, but we'll figure that out. We will make it work. All right. Back to OPS here. Goosen, Taylor, Carlos May. So May and Cardi would be a nice platoon, but I think I've got to get my catcher and my shortstop, and look at Willie Mays still out here. Obviously not his best year, but it's still Willie Mays. All right, that's a consideration. Let's look at the pitching, because I feel like a third starter would be good to get here. Oh, not responding. I may have too many things open on my computer, as I usually do, so apologize, folks. We'll just have to wait for the screen to come back here. There it is. And we're going to display by pitching. And now we're going to look at whip again. Let's look at our team snapshot. Hunter, Palmer, and a bunch of hitting. Wilhelm's still here. Drabowski was taken. Ron Taylor is still here. Starting pitchers wise, Ray Culp, decent numbers. Rudy May, decent numbers. Kind of liking Rudy May to give me a lefty here. Jim Bunning, Dean Chance, Cardwell, Nolan Ryan. But most of these guys don't have the amount of games here. Look at McLaughlin, 8-16, but a 3.18. Culp, decent number of Ks here. Slightly elevated ERA from these other guys. Let's go with Rudy May. Rudy May, draft. And back around to me. And who's here now? Let's see. All right, most of these guys are still here. Wilhelm, Culp. The fact that Culp has 32 starts as well. But that's not a strict requirement. Let's go to batting and check what we got. Okay, kind of like to bounce back and forth, do a couple batters, couple pitchers, so start alternating here a bit more. OPS, based on 100 at-bats or more. Any more full-timers? Frank Fernandez is still here. Look at old Tito Francona there. 402 on base, 427 for Hegan, 432 for Taylor. Wow. How about home runs? What we got? Ernie Banks still out there. OPS again. Was Willie Mays taken? It looks like yes. I think he was. Dick Dietz. Yeah, Willie Mays was taken. Okay, Maury Wills, first shortstop on the list. Decent, not great OPS, but decent on base. Good batting average, 25 steals, 15 caught. Not great, but I do need a shortstop, so that might be an option there. I mean, if we're looking after that, it's Gene Michael, Tom Tresh. Can we gamble and hope that Maury Wills is still there next round? We're going to do that. We're going to gamble and see who else I can get here. What do I need? Shortstop, center field, catcher. So I'm basically weak up the middle here. Alou, not a great on base there. Let's do this again. Veda Pinson. Don Money. Alright, well, I think I'm going to go and fill out my rotation first, and then I'm going to come back and get Maury Wills. Hopefully he's still here. Alright, let's do that. And I'm going to go with Ray Culp. Alright. Let's take a look at our batting now. Now, still need a closer as well, so I might want to mix one in here. Let's see. Is Maury Wills is still here? Oh, he's split. Oh man, I'm not thrilled that that's that way, but it is what it is. Let's take him. All right. And there might be a way to combine these guys, I'm not sure, but for now I'm not worried about it. That might have been something I needed to do prior to starting the draft, so oops. Alright, let's look at OPS. And let's look at 100. And what do I need now? I need a catcher and a center fielder and a DH. And then I gotta fill in some places here. Catcher, center field, DH. I mean, Fernandez has a nice on base, low batting average, but nice on base. we've got, let's see, 4 pitchers. Yeah, catcher. And center field we need, right? So, I mean, for pure center field, we've got Young, but he doesn't have a ton of at-bats. Actually, none of these guys really do anyway, so I'm going to have to platoon. Let's see if we can look for... Let's just look at center fielders for a moment and go by at-bats. So Crawford looks like he could potentially play center. And all right. Tony Gonzalez doesn't look too bad here. 801 OPS, center field, taken. All right. All right, let's see here. What have I got? I got 5 starters now. Okay, and I'm missing, I need a catcher, and got all of my other position players. Oh, I need a DH. All right, so, all right, let's take a look here. Yeah, I'm going to need to fill in playing time for some of those guys, obviously. All right, so we're looking at center fielders by OPS, Moda, Lee some of these guys are kind of a mix of outfielders slash infielders. Oh, I see Lee May twice. Yeah, that's unfortunate, but again, this is a tutorial, so that's fine. I'm not going to worry about it now. Oh, there we go. Catcher, Jerry Moses, Pagliaroni. Klimchak is not a catcher. Who else do we have here? Echebarren. He's got a 350 on base. Not much else going. Obviously, I waited too long to get a decent catcher here, so I'm going to have to put together some sort of a platoon situation, but that's fine. There's always going to be a position or two where you do that, right? Okay, let's see who else. Ed Herman, Ellie Rodriguez, got some decent at-bats at least. Phil Roof, Ron Brand. Now we're going to sort by on base. Yeah, Echebarren's up there. Jack Hyatt. Satriano doesn't have enough at-bats, really. And Pavlovich. I do want to get Jerry Moses, but I feel like we can wait another couple of rounds here. So I think for defensive purposes, we'll take Echebarren as our primary. Okay, so now we can do a different sort here. Let's look at pitchers. Yeah, we don't have a closer. We are going to need somebody to fill in some Not too many, but we're missing a few games started here to get to 162. Right? Got Hunter, Palmer, May, Culp, and Wilson. And so we have what? We have a little bit of a shortfall with Palmer and May here, but not much. We're talking maybe 10, 12 starts. So we might be able to focus on our relief pitching here. Looking at closer-wise, not a ton of guys available. We got Horner, Joe Horner, and Don McMahon. And who else is out there? Steve Hamilton. Mudcat Grant, Billy McCool, Billy Wilson, Roy Face, Wickersham. And if we do Ks per 9, we've got Billy, Al Worthington. Worthington's whip is high. Marcelino Lopez, his whip is high. Yeah, let's just go. I think I'm leaning Joe Horner here. There we go. Joe Horner it is. Bingo. All right, next up, we're back on the clock here. Okay. Don McMahon came off the board. Okay, we need our DH, so let's find somebody with a little bit of pop in their bat. There's got to be a couple of decent batters out there, right? Yeah, we could go pitchers, but I think we'll grab our DH here, then we'll lean into our reserves and relief pitching here. All right, set that to 100 again. Ernie Banks still out here. Make it easy for me. Ernie Banks is our DH. All right. Yeah, it's not vintage Ernie Banks, but whatever. Oh, looks like he picked for us twice, or Computer Manager picked for us somehow. Who did I wind up with? Doyle, pitcher. Okay. Well, grabbed a pitcher. All right, let's fill in some playing time issues here. All right, Carew. So we need a backup second baseman. We need a backup shortstop. We need a backup outfielder. We need probably 2 backup catchers. I know third base it lists Killebrew with 105. So we probably want a defender that can play maybe short and third. All right, let's get a backup for Carew here. These aren't really jumping off the page here. Nothing too interesting. Goosen looks like a nice to have off the bench as a pinch hitter, part-time first base. Right, we need a bit of a fill-in for Allen. Francona's got nice numbers. Look at that 402 on base. Lee Mays looking pretty good. Jerry Moses. And we'll go with Jerry Moses as our backup catcher. Oh, and it picked for us again. Why? Okay, who did we get? We got Jones, pitcher. Okay, I wasn't targeting pitching that round, but there we are. Man, it's difficult to pass up some of these guys. I think Goosen as our backup first base / DH would be nice. Pinch hitter deluxe. 597 slug. Francona, May. Who else we got there? Some of these other guys have decent numbers. Clendenin, 12 homers. Bubba Morton. Willie Smith. And Goosen it is. All right. We are on the clock. Round number 20. We still need a shortstop, backup shortstop. We need a backup outfielder. Lee May could be the guy here, right? Those are good numbers. Tillman, Clendening, looking at home runs. Brant Elia, Buddy Bradford, and we'll go with Lee May. Not overthinking it here, right? Round 21. Now let's see. I'm going to go with, we do have a backup catcher already, but I think at bats wise we need one more probably. Look at the team snapshot here. Oh, we got Shellen back. Okay. Not sure why we got Shellen back, but we did. Alright, so we need our shortstop. Okay, the other Maury Wills is gone. That leaves us with not a ton to pick from here. Rick Rennick, 681 OPS. Yeah. If we take away our at-bat minimum, let's see. Chico Salmon. he's mainly a first baseman, so that doesn't really work either. We're going to go with Rick Rennick here. Oh, gotta hit continue draft. And let's try that again. He's primarily a third baseman, but I guess he has some shortstop experience. I don't know. If I'm looking at just shortstops, primarily shortstops, what do I got? Zoilo. I got not a lot here. If I view him, let's see. Rick Rennick fielding 6 games at short. 867 fielding percentage. Let's not do that. Let's think about this for a second here. Let's just go with Zoilo, I guess. Draft. Okay, we got the blue circle again. Gotta wait for this to come back. There we go. Come on. Alright, round 25, California. Alright. Okay. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pitchers. Yeah, we should probably get a pitcher here. Let's do that. All pitchers. Let's click on 50 maybe. And pitching. And by whip. We're in the 1.2 whips already here. Okay. If I drop the innings pitched down to 25, doesn't really matter. Okay, so we've got Jim Nash, who could fill in as a long reliever slash part-time starter. Got Dean Chance, similar. We're just gonna go with Jim Nash here. All right. Round 26 it is. Okay, now just best available player, I think. Let's get another pitcher here. Let's go with Hank Geary. And should we get another pitcher or go back to batters? Let's go to batters. All batters. Batting. No IP minimum. Sort on OPS. Let's get a 100 at-bat minimum here. Not a lot to work with. Jose Herrera. The other half of Lee May. Jim Qualls. Go with Herrera, I guess. Draft. Okay, back to me. Geiger's got a 351 on base, but a 224 batting average. Do I need another outfielder? I don't know. What if we drop the at-bats requirement? Let's see what we got here. Okay, Dempsey. I mean, these guys have like 10 at-bats, 20 at-bats. Billy Cowan. Be a nice guy to have off the bench here. Manny Mota. Like Manny Mota, 89 at-bats, sure. Draft. All right. Let's see, on base again, or OPS. 77, Raymond Webster. He's got 3 at-bats. No. Tommy Aaron. Ken Rudolph. Ron Fairley. We're getting pretty deep into the weeds here, aren't we? I would say so. Alright, how about pitching-wise? What do we got left? Pitching. Get, he's got a 6 ERA. Vern Geishert. Abernathy. 56 games. Whip is a bit high, but we're going to do that. Boom. Alright, round 30, round 30. Alright. Jim Boughton, ball 4, draft. Okay, let's look at whip again. These guys are a little bit frightening here with the high whip or high ERA. So let's go with Geishert, I guess. Alright, we're getting fairly deep into this. Not much left. Grab another batter or two, I guess. Not quite sure how many rounds we need to fill this out. 122 free agents remaining. So not many rounds left. Leader in homers is 1. Okay. Well, that kind of seals the deal here for what's left. Not much in the way of at-bats or anything, really. You know what? Jim Qualls, 608 OPS. Sure. Let's do that. Let's grab, I don't even know at this point what's left here. Yikes. Okay. What am I doing way down there? Let's just grab, Adolfo. That's a nice little on base there. Let's do that. Okay. Let's see what's left on the pitching pile here. Whip it. Radots. Ron Klein. I think Ron Klein won't kill me. He won't pitch that much. I'll go with Ron Klein. And Dick Radots. Draft him. Alright, yeah, we're about to wrap this up here. Let's see. There's not much left here. Go Bob Locker, I guess. Okay, let's grab another batter, I think. OPS. These guys have like no at-bats here. I like Oscar Gamble. We're going to go with Oscar Gamble. And we'll see what's remaining after that. Bob Stinson with his 8 at-bats. Gene Oliver. Look at this guy with 12 walks. Alright. Another backup catcher here, Gene Oliver. Obviously these guys are barely going to play for me. I would like a backup infielder. I know his numbers are horrible, but Nate Oliver. There we go. Alright, round number 40. We're about to wrap this up with a handful of guys remaining here. Leon Wagner draft. All right, round by round draft is complete. 40 rounds. Okay. All right, so we can exit the draft. Oh, you know what? Let's just do a quick team snapshot here. Guess we can all right, exit. And let's go to rosters for a moment here. Click on California. All right, so we've got my roster rundown here. So I'm going to have to create lineups, set my rotation. I'm going to do that offline, and in video number 2, we'll go through the rosters for each team. I just wanted to pop this up briefly here. So I can click on pitchers. I can see batting versus lefties and righties. Batting real versus replay, and so forth. Status, usage. I'm not going to go through all these, but anyway, you get the idea here. And then, so I'm going to, here's my bullpen, my rotation. All right, got some spot starters there. I'm going to have to fix this. Obviously, it doesn't have Jim Palmer in it. Anyway, so I'll do this offline. We'll do our second video, which will be a review of who everybody got in the draft. We'll simulate a season, and we'll look at the results. All right, folks, that'll wrap this video. Thanks again for watching. Take care, keep playing ball, and we'll see you soon.